your name?
Hey, hobby hooligans. Welcome to Ashtabula Hobby Talk. My name is Nemo, the president of Amigos Radio Club, Ashtabula, and amateur radio enthusiast, and I am here with...
Not Rikus, Andrew again. Hello, I'm Andrew, secretary of, not Captain's Comics, Amigos Radio Club, Ashtabula.
And our great line producer, too, don't forget. He is the line producer normally behind the camera, flipping the buttons so that we can all switch back and forth and talk and have a good time and connect our guests and all that. Today we have our special in-house technician, Trinity, with us. Thank you very much for playing backup while
She's
Rikus
not nervous
is
at
out.
all. Not even a little
she's
bit.
doing just fine. So Rikus isn't here with us tonight. Obviously, he's getting ready. He's gearing up for a Trail Life weekend, and hopefully he'll be bringing us back some pictures and some great stories to tell.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, so that ought to be pretty cool. Him and Carl are on their way. I guess they were packing the trailer
I was
tonight.
going to say, where are they going?
Someplace outside of Columbus, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Some big campground down there with a bunch of all of them. In northeastern Ohio.
Interesting. Maybe I was there at some point in my scouting career. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
That was a long time ago. But
did you guys do things to scouts?
Oh, yeah.
In them?
Oh, well, I mean, I was a Boy Scout, but
Well, yeah,
Trail
yeah.
Life and Scouts did a lot of the same stuff. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, down that way. I don't know exactly where they're at. I remember going down. I used to go to Mohican River quite a bit, and do the canoe run down the Mohican River. That was always fun. And I think that might be in the same area that they're going. But I could be
Probably,
wrong.
yeah.
So hey, good luck, guys. Come back with everybody. Don't lose any kids in
Right.
the streams or the
Right.
woods. and bring us back lots of cool pictures that we could show on maybe the next episode.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah. So hey, how's your bees been?
They've been a little on the ornery side because of the time of year, but we got a frame of honey from them, so that was pretty
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were out. Me and my sister were out looking at them. What was that? Like 4 days ago, I think. 3 or 4 days ago.
Sweet.
And we were like, "Wow, they've already got this brand new box, the super that we put on top of them, filled, almost completely full in less than 3 weeks." So we were like, "Yeah, they can afford one less frame of honey for the winter because they've already got one super on top of their main box." It's really good. And I don't even like honey that much, but it's really good.
I'm a big fan of honey. I'd rather use honey than sugar any
Yeah,
day.
absolutely.
So, I know, what was it, 2 episodes ago you were on here talking about your one
radioactive
hobby,
stuff.
radioactive
Yeah.
hobby stuff. So are you mixing the bees with the radioactive stuff so we can make superheroes?
Well, I mean, there has been the radioactive attack bees joke thrown
Yeah.
around. I could see them if like I took one of my dishes and I ground it down and mixed it with sugar. It would actually be kind of an interesting experiment to see if you could detect the radiation in the bees, like the nectar and stuff and the honey. That would be a horrible idea. Please don't feed your bees radioactive dust. I would not do that to my bees. They're bugs, but I love them. I love my bees. So maybe at a future date. Maybe then. If you live next to like a candy factory and your honey turns like wacky colors, it's because the bees are eating the waste products from the candy factory.
Oh, I
People
didn't know
have had that happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. So
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Things to know, little tidbits. Well, I'm glad to hear they're doing good. They're all packed away, ready for the wintertime.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I got to say this, too, and I know this kind of is going over your head, but Ace Frehley passed away today. Ace Frehley is, I don't know if you know who he is, but
not off the top of my
he's
head.
one of the founding members of the band Kiss.
Oh, I do know Kiss.
Okay.
That's where I knew the face from. The
That's
album
where you
cover
knew
of
the face
Kiss. Good
He's
lord.
the founder of rock and roll, practically. I mean, I don't know how, for sure, like, all those guys, everybody with a face paint in
Right.
their band owes them credit because, there's them, then there's Ozzy, and that's
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two. Those are the two groups.
Wow, and we've lost both of them.
Yeah.
this past
Well, not
year.
all the Kiss guys.
Well,
are
no,
gone,
but
Ace
him and
Frehley
Ozzy,
was the guy.
Yikes,
He's
man.
the singer and all that. So,
Yeah.
man, it's just a crazy world. You're not gonna be able to see any of the band with the original members anymore.
Right.
Because now they're all gone. He was in the middle of touring too.
Oh, still?
Still,
Wow.
it's like I think he was 76. I think I want to say.
No kidding.
Yeah. So Still touring at
That is
76.
a darn shame. It really
You
is.
know, when these guys come out there in their walkers
Oh yeah.
and their hover rounds.
Hey, but they still got the same spirit, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and it just reminds me where I'm heading.
Oh man.
No,
Oh
it's
Lord.
great. They produced a lot of great music,
Mhm.
and we did an episode with Chris, the record guy, not
Oh
long
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and he's a huge Kiss fan, so I'm sure
Mm.
he's feeling it right about
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah. And actually, I'm just starting to get into that kind of music as well. You know, for God, as long as I can remember, all I ever listened to was country because that's all my folks ever had. You know, the same collection of 25, 30 songs my dad ripped off of CDs years ago.
Well, if you want a good list, I'll give it to you. I've got plenty. And
Yeah,
hey, if anybody's got something that they want to add to Andrew's list of
yeah.
musical,
Throw in the comments.
so put it in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Give them something to listen
yeah.
to.
I'm not a huge fan of subscription services, but I did break down and get one of the popular ones, and I figured that's how I'm gonna discover my music, and then what I really know that I really like, I'm gonna buy the album
All right.
because I do not like not owning what I like.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah,
think you should have a physical copy of it
absolutely.
because you're paying for it.
Oh yeah.
So that's part of the paying for it, in
Mm.
my opinion. But hey, so we had a great away mission. I know you weren't with us, but
I want it to be.
we went out on
Yeah.
an away mission, Rikus and I, and uh, man, Daniel Cole is a great guy.
The blacksmith.
Yeah, blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we spent an evening with him at his shop, and maybe we should go ahead and get into that.
All right. To the away mission. Not
All
me
right.
though. Nemo and Rikus.
Well, hobby on.
I built this rack because I needed something to house all my tools. This hammer I use most like it's an everyday hammer. I like the way it fits in my hand and the way I can do work with it. This hammer I use for heavy when I got to move thicker metal, and I got to move, and I use one of this anvil or that anvil behind you. Those are the heavy ones. This is actually more of a farrier's hammer, but I like the round part for doing certain jobs. And this is just another heavy hammer I like, but I've cracked the handle, so I got to get another handle in it. And I got different tongs. Like these tongs are knife maker's tongs. It's for putting the flat stock in, but I like using it for square because of this. You get it around the corners and it fits in there real nice. And I got different, these are called wolf jaw tongs. You can get stock from the side or from the end. And these here are for round stock. If you got a bigger piece of round stock, you put it in there and it holds it real nice and tight. And this is for a bigger stock, bigger square stock, like the 1/2 inch and stuff like that. When I'm
So I've seen guys. Those look like they were bought.
these I bought.
Okay, so but I've seen guys that they start out and they're like, oh, the first thing you got to learn is make.
Yeah, no, that's not the first thing I learned. But no, these ones here were bought. A couple of them are homemade, but I bought them from. There's a place up in Middlefield that sells used blacksmith and stuff, and I got it up there. But yeah, there's some other hammers. This here's called a hot set. It's for cutting steel. Sometimes if I want to split something, I'll put that over on it, or with this hand, take a hammer and hit down on it, and it'll split the steel. I'll put something over the anvil so it don't mark the anvil up. This one here is for punching holes. I usually start with, I don't start with that. I got a small punch that I'll start with. It has a little more of a point, and then I'll work up to the bigger ones if I need to. Again, that's just my personal like. Well, these anvils, this one here is about 200 some pounds. And it's it's one of my main working anvils. I mean, I use this one today, but these anvils, this is for like heavy stock. You can really move a lot of steel with a good hammer and that. And this anvil I just purchased from a friend of mine, and it's a good heavy anvil too. And that's the one I take to the shows. I want over there because it's not as heavy and it's easier to move around. Over here, you got, this is a post vise, and this leg actually, for a lot of guys, will set them in the floor in cement or something, and you can, and it helps absorb the blow when you're hitting, because sometimes you got to hit hammer something while you're in the vise. I've only got a temporary setup right now, but I got it in, I've got it hooked up inside this tire rim, and that makes a nice base for it. But it's got a spring. If you didn't have that spring, they don't always go back like they should. This is a real big, heavy vise, and it does everything I want it to do. I've made some of these pumpkins kind of for a fall decoration, Halloween, whatever. I got more of them. This is, I just set one up for an example. And we're actually going to take them down. We're going to the Cover Bridge Festival, Ashtabula County Cover Bridge Festival this weekend. And we are going to take these down and try and sell them. These brackets here have been popular. People just bolt these to their house wall, and they can hang flowers or whatever they might want on them. These are heavy. I made some door handles for barn poles, you know, for a barn door. Some more basic hooks, other different styles I made. This is just another hook that somebody can put on the wall of the house. Hang something that's heavy so it's not going to bend. And these are shelf brackets. I've sold these. These have been popular. Put these up, and then, you know, and you put a shelf on them. And these are just some little decorative hooks, like coffee cups or whatever, keys, whatever you might want to put on them. And this I didn't paint. I was asked to make one of these, and I made a couple cents. A lady wanted to put her Dutch oven on it. And you put it over the fire, put your Dutch oven on it, and you're got the fire coming up, but your pot's not actually in the fire.
Okay, well, hey, we're here with blacksmith Daniel Cole, and Daniel, thank you for inviting us out to your shop, man.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
coming out.
It's pretty cool. You got a nice looking setup here. A lot of what I would expect to see, a bunch of ball peen hammers and good old anvils. And I think, you know, we'll let you do your thing. Maybe you could describe the processes that you're going through while you're doing it, and then we'll sit down and chat with you for a little bit after.
Okay,
All right? Okay,
sounds good.
cool.
I got a piece of square stock I'm going to put into the fire. I'm going to make just a basic hook today. Now I start, this here is a blower, and it blows air up through the bottom, which stokes the fire and gets the fire hotter. You can actually get it so hot you can melt the steel, so I got to monitor it to make sure I don't do that.
So what kind of metal are you using right there with steel?
Just a piece of square mild stock, mild steel square stock.
You go through like, you know, from obviously you can do iron to general mid-range steel, but you 440 up into the stainless range.
Yes, I can. I don't do a lot of knife. I don't really do knives or anything like that. I do more ornamental stuff. So I'm gonna come to this anvil right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a point for when I make the hook. I'm gonna heat it back up. What I'm doing is I'm making a point so when I make the hook, I can curl it, tip down so it doesn't catch clothes or whatever you might have on the hook. So I'm going to draw that down. And once you get it hot, it don't take long to get it hot again. So I only have it in there for a minute.
Yeah, I had a friend that was doing ingots. He was starting out trying to learn. He was just doing ingots, and it would take hours for that to cool down.
Oh yeah, it takes a while. Then after I get it down to where I want it, I'll start taking on the on the corners, and that starts to round it a little bit. And I'll round it back here a little bit. And I want to heat it up again.
So what's the hardest steel you can use in that fire?
I don't know if there's really a limit. This coal will burns very hot, and it'll get most of the steel. Any of the steels that I want to use, I can do in here. Even if I wanted to make a knife, I could in here and get that hardened steel up good and hot. Try and straighten it out a little bit. And you don't want to keep hitting it when it gets too cold. You can actually get like crack it. So I try to keep the heat to it. Like I said, it doesn't take very long to heat it back up. Now I like to work some of the green coal, start to get it closer where it can start to burn without getting into the main fire. technique that you like to use for hammering? What I like to do, and this is just me, there's different ways to do it. This is just my personal way of doing it, is I'll get my tip when I'm doing a hook. I'll get my tip made. Then I start working back and I'll round. And if I have square stock, I'll just start tapping on the corners, not tapping, but hitting on the corners on each one. And then you just kind of start working around and it'll round it, make it a piece of round. And then I'll go over the bick here, the horn, and start with my actual hook. So I'm going to do that just a little bit more, and then we'll probably try and I said, there's different ways of doing things. This is my way of doing it. Other people have I have friends that have different ways of doing these things. This is what I found works for me. I'll just kind of go around. And then I'll heat it one more time, and we'll start going over to the horn, and we'll start forming the hook. And then we'll go to the vise and form the tip, and I'll put a twist in the body of it. This is my twisting wrench. Trying to get it sized. Okay, now I'll take it. A lot of people think that blacksmithing's all hard hitting. Sometimes it's just light taps to try and get yourself in. And then I'll take this and I'll bend it just a little bit so you don't. I'll heat it one more time. These are scrolling tongs. I use them to make the bend. Want one more heat. There, you got this way when somebody hangs something, they don't, it's a little decorative and it's also has a purpose. So I'm gonna put this back in with this side in, and we're gonna put a twist in that. You notice I got some wetter coal around here. That's called green coal, it's unburned. And I slowly work that in and let it start working in and burning a little at a time.
Now, you said wet coal. You actually water that?
Yeah, I water it. It helps it pack, helps it keep the fire from getting too big. Then you take your bending wrench, twisting wrench, and you just start to turn. And it'll give it a decorative twist. You can count your turns, especially if you're making like a matching set. You want the turns to be the same. And then you turn till you're happy with the twist, which I'm happy with that one. And you just take here. That's your basic hook. All I gotta do is put holes in it.
All right. Daniel, thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you having
Thank
us
you.
out here. This is an awesome setup.
Thank you.
This is great.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
how long have you been tinkering with metal?
I've actually got started in it back in the 1980s when a shop teacher introduced me to blacksmithing. And I got away from it for a while. I was a machinist for a while. I'm still a machinist. But blacksmithing, I took back up probably about 10 years ago, started tinkering with it. And it actually has kind of turned into a side business for me.
Yeah, back in the 80s, we had metal shop, and it was an actual metal shop.
Mm.
Mine didn't get into the metal bending and heating it up, but we made you had like that, like this here. We made stuff like this, but all this was flat stock,
Yeah.
and then we riveted it together. So yeah, then my kids got to school and they don't do none of that.
No, none of my kids got to experience that either.
I didn't have a metal shop. I had a wood shop.
Oh, my kids didn't get to experience either one of them.
There's more skills to be learned back then. Now
Yeah.
I think computers and things taking over and people trying to get skills in that. But it's great to have the basic knowledge of being able to build something if you want to build something.
I got grandkids that are interested in learning this.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I got.
really good.
I have, and my daughter will come out once in a while, and she lives in Cleveland, so she can't make it out all the time, but she'll come out and forge with me. Yeah, well, we have a thing sometimes too where a group of us will get together every now and again, and we'll all trade ideas and pound on the anvil.
It's awesome, like a network of blacksmiths.
Yeah,
So there's a couple different blacksmith groups in the area. Is that right?
they're not in this local area, but we're just a loose net group of friends
Okay.
that
Because I know there's like the guys at the Engine Museum down there in Williamsfield area.
yeah,
Those guys have some blacksmithing guys.
yes. Yeah, those are nice young men that do them.
I have a group of friends that do a lot of backyard blacksmithing. We built a anvil. Anvils are expensive.
Yes,
This
they
is
are.
amazing. You got three really nice
Pretty
anvils.
nice ones, yeah.
But we took a piece of railroad tie and carved a horn out of it and mounted it to a log, and we used that to hammer on. We were just seeing what we can forge.
So
Yeah.
I noticed too, you've got all these on logs. Is there a reason for that?
One reason is the height. This one's about the right height. That one's a little too tall, but you want them about to your knuckle for ergonomics.
Okay.
It also helps absorb the blows of the hammer. Most everybody has them on some sort of wood. Some guys don't. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways of doing things. But most of the guys have them on wood stumps. I like mine on wood stumps.
So you've been doing this since the 80s. What's the first thing you remember making?
Screwdriver.
Screwdriver.
But he didn't have us heat treat it right. So
So you don't have it here today.
I don't have it here
Didn't
today.
last.
Didn't
You're gonna
last.
take it back to Sears and turn it in for
No. But like I said, I got away from it for a while, so I'm not a 40-year veteran. But I love doing this. This is something that, like I said, I got a business. It's called Metalworks by Dan Cole.
Okay.
I got a Facebook page under the same name.
So you do a bunch of custom stuff too?
Yes, I actually, one of the biggest things I've done is I did two railings for a guy's back steps. That took me a long time to complete by myself. But I do a lot of other custom stuff. One job I got going right now that I got to finish is guy wants me to make tongs for logs, pick up logs in a fire.
Okay.
He gave me an example of what he wants. I got to make them. What else have I done? I've made
Those got to be pretty strong too, because
logs.
I have a wood fire heat at home, and when you open it up, you gotta move logs around.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it good and sturdy for them without being so heavy that
I think just my poker is as big as that piece of metal right there, as far as like diameter.
Yeah, that's a 1/2-inch round stock.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, and I do welding. I've welded for people. Some of my stuff I weld together. But I've had people hire me to do some welding for them. So
That's a whole other art form in itself.
I'm not a certified welder. That's a disclaimer I want to put out. But I've had people hire me to do welding. I just enjoy working with metal. I always have. And so the welding kind of goes hand in hand. Not really hand in hand, but it does with the blacksmithing. And you can need both sometimes.
What's your favorite piece that you put out there? You probably don't have it around here, huh? Probably already sent it on its way.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites was those railings. One of the favorite things I did, and it was a long job, but it was a bottle tree that a customer wanted me to make. I had to take round flat stock and make them round and go up, taper it up. And then I put little hooks that she could slide empty bottles in, different colors.
Okay.
All the way around. And she wanted that, it was
It was tall.
It was, yeah, it was about that tall. Yeah, it was almost as tall as I was.
So you have to take a lot of things into consideration, the metal and how you work with it.
Yeah,
You can't just grab another piece of metal and be like, I'm gonna do this. You actually have to know that you're steel.
yes, you do. Yeah, like I said, most of what I do, all this is all mild steel. Um, I'm gonna try my hand at knives sometime. I got a buddy that likes to make knives, and he does a pretty good job at it. Uh, but he's always having to figure out what steel. Yeah, that I've heard pros and cons on that. I've heard some guys that are experts that'll, well, to me they're experts because of their ability, but they've said it's not a good idea to go to the scrap pile and take springs out and make knives. You should order the steel. Others claim, yes, you can take, if you know what type of steel it is, like the spring steel, you can make a good knife. And I believe both are valid. But I have to give credit to my wife. She doesn't want to be in the film, but she's encouraged me when we got married to restart this because I'd got away from it. And when I got remarried, she said, you ought to pick this back up and take it where you can take it. And we've been taking it places, and I got to give the credit to her. She's my biggest supporter.
That's what's important.
Yep.
That's what's important. All right. Well, man, hey, give a plug one more time to people to get a hold of you.
You can get a hold of me at Metalworks by Dan Cole, or you can get on my Facebook page, which is also Metalworks by Dan Cole. I also have an email. The email is dcole12765@gmail.com.
All right.
They can also find you at the Covered Bridge Festival.
Cover Bridge
Yeah.
Festival, that's
And
this
you do,
weekend.
Pioneer Picnic
And
every
Pioneer
year.
Picnic every year.
Dan, thank you so much for
Thank
inviting
you.
us into your shop, man. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. This is great.
Thank you.
It's really
Thank
cool
you.
what you do, man.
Thank you. I
This is a
really
great
appreciate
hobby.
that. I really enjoy it.
Maybe we can come back again and do like a follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
hey,
can
that'd be fine.
put my arm to work.
That'd be fine.
All right.
All right, welcome back. And that was great. I don't, man, Carl was such a nice guy bringing us in, giving us that demonstration.
Yeah.
And we did see him out at the covered bridge. Did you go to the covered bridge and
I
check
did not
him
have
out?
time. I had to work that weekend.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend for me too.
It was.
But I did drive by there. and
I did
saw
too,
him.
actually, and I did. Yeah, I saw him.
I
Yeah.
wasn't able to stop and say hello, but I was driving by and I did see him there.
Yeah.
And I noticed somebody moved the porta potty out of the way because somebody had dropped it in the road.
Oh Lord.
But hey, that's all right. We
Yeah.
won't get into that. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
But man, he he made that hook right there.
Mhm.
It only took him a little bit of time.
Right.
And it's a good hobby. Good
Absolutely, it's a very old hobby too.
hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, is it a profession? Most of the time nowadays, it's not really a profession because you've got big machines that make that stuff on an industrial scale. But some people want the handmade stuff.
Well,
You know?
there aren't though. If you look at like wrought iron fencing, like
Mhm.
if you go up to like Home Depot and you say you want a nice arm railing around your back porch,
Yeah.
or
You kind of
wrought iron, you're not finding it there.
no, you can't go to a department store and ask for like custom metalwork most of the time unless it's
Yeah.
like, something that is pre-assembled that they sell there that they could assemble.
So he's
Yeah.
got not just a great hobby, but a good little niche there too.
Does he do it for a business at all?
Yeah, he does. He
Oh,
does.
okay.
He talks about that
Mhm.
in the video. I don't have all the intel off the top of my head, but I know if you go to, I think it's Dan Cole Metalworks on Facebook. That's where.
So he does stuff off of like Facebook Marketplace or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
and a few other things. Most of what stuff he does is when people come to him.
That's very cool.
And then he's been showing up at at shows and events to
Like local stuff,
like
and like
local
trying to get
stuff.
his name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while,
Mhm.
and it was great. Man, I think next time we go back over there and talk to him again, I would like to hit the hammer with the anvil and the hammer and the
Yeah.
metal and
Hopefully, I
all
won't
that.
be working. Otherwise, I'd love to come out there with you guys.
Yeah, we could have
I
used
have
a
one
tripod.
one away mission under my belt, and I want more. You guys are out here doing all this fun stuff. You still gotta duct tape me to the top of the 4x4.
That's in the May. That's in May. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed tonight's away mission and tonight's show. So before we go, I just want to remind everybody that there is this thing right here. Oh, upside down.
There you go.
Do-do-do-do. It is this really awesome shirt. It's a Captain's Comics original. And when we hit 100 subscribers, this shirt is going out to somebody. They can pick their color. They can pick the color of the letters. They can pick their size. And we'll send that out. And this limited edition, never going to be made again, Wednesday Night Joke Night Coffee Mug, which is my other YouTube channel / radio net that I do every Wednesday night for the local amateur radio community here. So hit 100 subscribers and we'll send that out to somebody.
Are you planning on printing more of those with the new repeater frequency? Do you know?
I'm not going to answer that question on the grounds that it might incriminate myself.
Fair enough.
We'll do a whole episode on amateur radio here coming up.
Yeah, we kinda need to, don't we?
We haven't talked amateur radio in a while, so
Yeah.
Maybe it's about time for us to spend an amateur radio
Do we do a
episode.
deep dive on it, you think?
I think we should do some, and we need to do some with comic books too. We've been
absolutely.
kind of slacking on our end, but we've been trying to bring the community out to the folks that watch us. And
I feel like that's a really important thing. It's not just we're talking about ourselves. We have not talked about ourselves hardly at all compared to the rest of the stuff we've had here.
yeah,
So-
but we're in there too somewhere.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you everybody again for joining us tonight, and hobby on.
Hobby on.